Welcome to today's motivational interviewing tip. When I think of motivational interviewing skills, the double-sided reflection shines front and center. Personally, this is my absolute favorite type of reflection. I attribute that to my Libra nature. I've always been able to see multiple sides to an issue and have historically had a difficult time making up my mind. People who know me recognize that I get super excited when I'm coding and I hear people using double-sided reflections. It's as awesome for me as catching a double rainbow. Anyhow, over 40 years of research proves that motivational interviewing is the most effective intervention to support behavior change when ambivalence is present. The purpose of the double-sided reflection is to capture that ambivalence, the dilemma, the two sides of the coin, while potentially shifting the conversation away from sustained talk and more towards change talk. As you recall, sustained talk is all of the reasons why a person feels they can't or aren't ready to change, and change talk is all of their arguments in favor of change. Often you'll hear both, all jumbled up together with what a person is sharing with you. A well-crafted double-sided reflection will simultaneously help the person you're coaching to feel deeply heard and understood, while putting a little wind in their sails of hope and optimism. It always starts with the difficult part, the sustained talk, and then ends on a high note with the change talk. That order is so important. Why? Because of the recency effect. In conversation, a person will generally pick up and elaborate on the most recent thing said. And what do we want our people to talk more about? Change talk. Change talk is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Because we know, and research proves this, that the more a person hears themselves talking about their own reasons for change, the more likely they will be to actually follow through on that. So ideally, in a successful motivational interviewing conversation, you'll hear the sustained talk go down and the change talk go up. A double-sided reflection is a great strategic way to soften sustained talk. But remember, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Remember, ambivalence, that feeling of indecisiveness, is super normal in the change process. When a person comes to you claiming that they're ready for that plan, they may or they may not be truly ready. If you're hearing a lot of, yeah, but they're still ambivalent, and that's okay. With motivational interviewing, we simply reflect that back. Therein lies the skill in choosing the type of reflection. The double-sided reflection is a perfect tool for this and is often what is needed to move the conversation forward. But we're not going to sidestep the negative stuff, the struggle, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. What do I mean by that? So sidestepping the sustained talk could lead to more sustained talk. Often in our enthusiasm for chasing change talk, we may feel compelled to ignore any sustained talk and just reflect the change talk. But this can result in the person you're coaching not feeling completely heard and understood by you and becoming even more resistant. Here's an example. The change talk is highlighted in gold, the sustained talk is in red. I do need to quit. I'm having a hard time catching my breath and I'm worried about my health. Thinking about quitting smoking makes me feel super anxious though. Some consequences are catching up to you and you're feeling like it's time. Yeah, but I'm scared of the withdrawals. Last time I tried to quit, it was the worst. My husband almost filed for divorce. You've had experience in quitting before and you're hopeful you can be successful this time. Actually, I'm nervous as hell. Just thinking about quitting is making me want to smoke. Can you hear the disconnect here? The coach isn't truly meeting this person where they're at. The lack of empathy and avoidance of their sustain talk is causing the person to come back with stronger sustain talk because they aren't feeling heard. So let's try it with some double-sided reflections. Again, the change talk is in gold and the sustain talk is in red. I do need to quit. I'm having a hard time catching my breath and I'm worried about my health. Thinking about quitting smoking makes me feel super anxious though. On the one hand, you're really concerned about the withdrawals, and on the other, you really want to feel healthier. Exactly. I know it's going to be a tough ride, but my health is more important than ever. You're bracing yourself for this because you know it will be worth it at the end. It will be. I need to be around for my kids. So in this example, you can see how acknowledging the tough stuff and creating that double-sided reflection created more balance, allowing this client to let go and move forward. There's lots of different ways that you can craft these double-sided reflections. Here's some possible stems to play around with. On the one hand, and on the other hand, that's a classic. In one way, and in another way, a part of you feels that, while another part of you feels, hey, from one point of view and from another. Always remember to start with the sustain talk and end with the change talk. That's for that recency effect. Now, let's practice. The challenge here is to create a double-sided reflection from the following statement. Of course I want to get healthier. It sucked last time we went on vacation and I was struggling to keep up with everyone on our outings. I also really enjoy my fine wine pairings and dining. I mean, life is just sad without dessert. All right, so please post your reflection in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to hear your reflections and see you next time.